Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and of course, I am joined tonight by a bunch of great dudes. And to start off with you tonight, it's the man who's going to sing the national anthem for us tonight. It's none other than Big B.
Oh, sick. No, I mean, I ain't singing. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Can't complain. All right. And then, of course, we have our special guest tonight. He, none other than Mr. Mess Around Dave. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. What's up, fellas?
That's right. All right. And then we call him Mr. Delusional 2.0, Isaiah Leong. How's it going?
It's going great, man. I just finished a show on the MI6 Sports Network. Got myself a nice, refreshing Coke, refueling for show number 2. Ready to, spew a bunch of truths here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. And my Niners are back. Life is great.
Well, I'm not so sure about spitting the truth part. That's like the one thing that I'm not so sure about. I'm still not believing that you're spitting the truth yet. But
we'll see about that at the end of the show.
Yeah, we were, Big B and we're actually talking about that. Big B and I we're just being like, how long is it going to be, before Isaiah throws some kind of weird, interesting take out there that we're like, what is he even talking about right now?
Well, he's already said that by saying the Niners are back. So
yeah, so he's already there. Well, welcome in Lisa Halverson. She's watching. Hello, Lisa. Hope you're having a fantastic night. All right. So you guys ready to get to some awesome topics tonight?
Let's go.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So the first one that we're going to talk about, and I've actually been waiting to talk about this one because I think that this one is actually kind of important to talk about because people like to talk about the Hall of Fame and talk about, who should be in the Hall of Fame, who shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to give you guys some names, and I'm going to ask you on whether or not you guys believe that they should be in the Hall of Fame or if they should not be in the Hall of Fame. So first off, Mess Around Dave, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start out with you on this one. And this one's going to be Hines Ward. Do you believe Hines Ward should be a Hall of Famer?
Questionable. I don't know. I'd put him in. I would. The stuff he did as a blocker, as a receiver, that guy's like one of the best blocking receivers ever. And he also put up some numbers receiving and stuff too. So I'd put him in, but I don't think he gets in first ballot for sure.
No, but he almost has, when you think about it, he almost has like every Steelers receiving record that there is.
Yeah, I'd put him in.
All right, Big B, I'm going to go to you. How about you for Hines Ward?
Yeah, I think he gets it. I mean, if you look at the Hall of Famers that are in, I found a website that shows us the average stats for each for the receivers that are in the Hall of Fame. And he's above average on all those. And plus, he's got 2 rings. So, yes, I say Hines Ward is in. Maybe not first ballot, but he should be in.
All right. Isaiah, how about yourself?
Absolutely, because this guy is a living legend in Pittsburgh. I mean, he has like every receiving record in Pittsburgh. He had over 1,000 receptions, 12,083 yards receiving, 85 touchdowns, and he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. And he was, very big in one of those Super Bowls that the Steelers won, and he was a 4-time Pro Bowler. So I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer.
I was actually surprised that Isaiah even knew who we were talking about, to be perfectly honest, because
in Pittsburgh,
when he starts talking about, originally when he talked about Randall Cunningham and being being a coach, and so I was like,
he probably didn't. He probably had to go Google it.
Nah, man, I know Hines Ward because I actually played Madden back in the day, and I would always trade him to the Niners because we needed a slot receiver. So he was one of my favorite slot receivers to use.
All right, so the next guy, but before we get into that, I'll tell you my personal thing is I do believe that Hines Ward deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. A 2-time Super Bowl winner, has basically every receiving record there is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. When you think about one of the best receivers in Pittsburgh history, you always think Hines Ward. Like, he's definitely in that conversation. All right, so the next name we have is Torrey Holt. So, we remember Torrey Holt from that amazing Rams team that they had. Yeah, the greatest show on turf. They had an amazing Rams team. An amazing team. So mess around, Dave. Torrey Holt, what do you think? Yes or no?
Without question, he was one of the leaders for that greatest show on turf. I mean, it was Isaac Bruce. Then he came on the scene and just took over as number one receiver, put up numbers every year. The guy, yeah, most definitely.
Okay, but do you think that Torrey Holt would have been that good without Isaac Bruce?
Maybe, I don't know. You never know because Isaac Bruce did take a lot of attention away, so it's not like he was double covered every play.
But they also had Marshall Faulk too, so they were kind of so they kind of had it coming from like every direction because you had Marshall Faulk and you had Torrey Holt, you had Isaac Bruce. All right, so Big B, how about you when it comes to Torrey Holt? Do you feel like Torrey Holt should be a Hall of Famer?
He's got what, 1 or 2 rings?
Torrey Holt, I believe Torrey Holt has 1.
Okay. It's tough because, I mean, like I said with Hines Ward, the average receiving stats, he doesn't quite make the list on some of them, but I think he gets in because, like you guys said, he was with the greatest show on turf, and I mean, he does have over 13,000 receiving yards, but yeah, if he gets in, it'll be because of the ring and that he was part of that Rams team, I think.
All right. I'm scared to ask this, but Isaiah?
Oh, God. Here we go.
I had to do a little bit of researching just now because
on Torrey Holt? Are you serious?
I didn't even know who Torrey Holt is. Because
you know who Hines Ward is, but not Torrey Holt. What?
You don't know who Torrey Holt is?
I didn't know who Torrey Holt is because he was like the best one, or he was in his heyday before I was born. So I didn't know who he was. But, I would say numbers-wise, I would put him in just because he scored like 74 touchdowns. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler. And also, he had over 13,382 yards receiving. But keep this in mind, though. How many of those yards and touchdowns that he threw was because he had Tom Brady at quarterback when he was playing for the New England Patriots?
Okay, hold on. So let me tell this. Okay, he didn't throw anything. Okay, he didn't throw any.
Wasn't he on the Patriots for most of his career?
The Rams.
He was on the Rams, bro.
Oh,
his
there it is, folks. There it is. It didn't take long.
Never mind.
We're talking about Torrey Holt, bro. And the thing is,
he was.
Him and Hines Ward played pretty much the same years. Hines Ward was a year ahead of him. You know who Hines Ward did, but you don't know who Torrey Holt is, who played against your 49ers forever.
That's what I'm saying.
Torrey Holt's quarterback was Kurt Warner.
Why did I think he was on the Patriots for most of his career?
I have no idea why you thought that Torrey Holt was on the Patriots. That's why when you started talking. That's why when you started talking about Tom Brady, I'm like, what the heck? All right. So
moving on.
Moving on. And mess around. I know this might be hard for you because you're not a Green Bay fan, but Leroy Butler. Do you believe that Leroy Butler deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I can be a Bears fan and hate Green Bay and be biased towards the players. For sure, Leroy Butler gets in. The guy had, 36 interceptions in his career, somewhere around there?
Yeah, and he's the one who started the Lambeau Leap. And so it's
he should be a
For sure he gets in.
yeah, so I'm just it's to me the big debate that people have been saying is that people are saying he has the interceptions, but people are like, does he have the tackles for it? And I'm like, but when you're a safety like he was, he was a playmaker. He was a true playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. He made a difference. All right, and Isaiah, before I get to you, he played for the Green Bay Packers, okay? Okay, so Big B, Leroy Butler, do you think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame?
God, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he was good and stuff. He invented the Lambeau Leap. I don't know. I guess if he gets in, I'm not going to be mad. And if he doesn't get in, I ain't going to be mad. It's kind of, I guess it all depends on who he's up against when his time is called and stuff like that. So I'm 50-50 on him.
All right. Isaiah, how about you?
I think he does get in because he's got the interceptions. And I think as a defensive back, you value interceptions more than tackles because interceptions changes games. And when you look at the interceptions he had, I don't think there was a year where or his final year of his career, he had 0 interceptions, but he had only played in 9 games. But, the other years, he had rookie year 3, then second year 3, then 1, then 6, then 3, 5, 3, then 2, then 2 again, and then his final year he had 0. But he was a playmaker on the defensive side of the ball, so I definitely got to give it to him because he has 38 interceptions, and he's probably up there when it comes to safeties with the most interceptions in his career.
So, Chris, we understand that Torrey Holt played for the Patriots. We know that. But it was 1 year that he played for the Patriots, not his career.
He signed with them, but never played.
But like Isaiah was talking about, he played most of his career with Tom Brady. And I was like, that's not – but anyway. So, yeah, just based off of interceptions alone, I agree with you on that, Isaiah. Leroy Butler, I feel like, should make it. Whether he will – I don't know because they're going to look at a lot of other
I was wrong. I was 2 off. He had 38 career picks.
You were close, though, but still.
Yeah. For not researching, it was pretty good.
Yeah, but still, 38 interceptions, it kind of really sticks out, It's 38 picks. A lot of DBs don't have that many interceptions in their career. I mean, when you think of, like, Amukamura, he might have dropped that many in his career. Right. So he might have dropped them in. All right. So now we go to the last one, and it's Chris Winkie and Jay Cutler. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. For sure. So that last one, the last one that we're going to be talking about, and this one is very, very debatable, just based upon the years he played. He was productive in the years he played, but he did not play for a long time. And this individual actually played for Isaiah's favorite team, sort of. I guess it was his favorite team, I guess you can call it. But Patrick Willis. So mess around, Dave. When it comes to Patrick Willis, because, he didn't have a long career. But when he played, he was productive. So with Patrick Willis, do you believe that?
I would say yes. Because what he did in that short 7 years, the guy was all over the place. He led the league in tackles, I think, a couple of times in those 7 years. So, I mean, he was just all over the place, the heart and soul of that defense. And I was surprised that he stepped away so soon, especially how young he was.
Yeah, he could have dominated the league for many, many more years. So, welcome in. Oh, never mind. I saw Casey King, and I thought Casey King was here. No, that was Isaiah tagging Casey King. Okay. So anyways, Big B, how about you? Patrick Willis, only being there for 7 seasons. Is it enough?
Man, that's tough. I mean, because those Niner teams back then weren't the greatest teams. But like Messerell said, he was all over the place. So He's probably another guy that's probably 50-50 in my book. I mean, if he gets in, he gets in. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'd probably throw my vote towards him to get in. I mean, he played most of the time on the right side, so that's typically the quarterback's backside. So he could have done a lot of things. So I'm 50-50 on him.
And I think that we know where Isaiah is going to go on this one because he's a 49ers fan, unless he says, I don't know who Patrick Willis is. But anyways, Isaiah, Patrick Willis, what do you think? Hall of Fame or no Hall of Fame?
I think he is, because when I moved here to the Bay Area and I started watching the 49ers, that was in like 2011. And when I watched him play, the Niners were dominant back in the day, 2011, 2012, 2013. And I didn't think the Niners were like a laughing stock before Jim Harbaugh took over. That's how young I was in my football knowledge. But when I watched Patrick Willis play, like you guys said, he was all over the place. He was a scary force on defense. Whenever he was coming to tackle you, had some running backs and wide receivers just like purposely falling down because they didn't want to get hit so hard by Patrick Willis. So, I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And, it sucks that he didn't play much longer than he did, because I personally thought he was going to be Ray Lewis 2.0.
Well, that could be debatable, but it still would have been cool to see how long he could have gone instead of retiring at such an early age and only after 7 seasons, because the dude was phenomenal. So for me, just looking at the 7 seasons he played, that's why it's going to be a toss-up on whether or not he makes it. Do they feel like he did enough in the 7 years that he was there?
Bill Davis got in after only 7 years, so why not Patrick Willis?
Does he have the numbers, though? They're going to look at that. Does he have the numbers?
I think he gets it.
That's going to be like the big debate on that one.
Numbers and no rings.
Yeah, but the thing is, to me, and I know you agree with this, Big B, because we've had this conversation before, I think rings are like a loop point. Rings to mean...
Yeah, but in some cases, they could be a breaking point, though. Like
they can, but...
If he had 1 ring, he'd probably get in for sure. That he doesn't, he's probably a 50-50 guy. So...
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. When you truly think about it, because we talked about rings. Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer?
Oh, yeah, but he doesn't have the rings.
He is, but he doesn't have a ring. Nope. And so that's where the debate comes. What I'm saying
is, sometimes those rings, even though, we've talked about it, is going to be the breaking point in some of the voters' eyes, so...
But now, just because we think that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer doesn't mean the people who vote are going to think that Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
I'll tell you one thing. If the voters don't vote him in when his time is up, there's going to be a lot of heads flipping.
Oh yeah. There's going to be a lot of angry people that go, are you kidding me? But this is the thing, though. Big Ben, Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers, they were all from the same draft class. And
Eli Manning shouldn't be in.
And so typically they're going to look at that and be like, they'll usually put in two of the 3. And so are they going to leave somebody out? They very well might.
They'll all 3 get in.
They're all 3 get in.
You think they all 3 get in?
Rivers will be the last one of the 3 to get in. Big Ben will probably get in first.
The Patriots twice, and one of them was an undefeated team he beat, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Eli's going to get in because he does have that one thing, and that's rings. He has 2 rings. So they're going to put in Eli just off that. Big Ben has 2 rings. So they're going to put in Big Ben just off that alone, too.
And Phillip's got the numbers, so he's going to go.
He should. He should. We've seen some stranger things when it comes to Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
All right. So now we'll jump into our next topic, which is all about the power rankings. So when we look at the current power rankings, this is how ESPN has the top 5. Right now, they have Green Bay at number 1. They have Tennessee at number 2. They have Arizona at number 3. They have Dallas at number 4. And they have the Rams at number 5. And so, Big B, I'll start with you on this one. Do you agree with these power rankings?
Oh man, it's tough because I was looking at some numbers, and like the Cardinals, for instance, when they win, they're a plus 125 points for, points against. When they lose, they've all lost twice, but it's minus what 30 about 30 points, and they lost to the Packers, who were number one. And I mean, I agree with the 5 teams in there, but it's hard for me not to put the Cardinals up there, even though they lost to the Packers. Ah, man. I guess I would go Packers, Cardinals, Cowboys, Titans. Well, yeah, and then the Rams number 5. I'd probably move the Cardinals, flip flop the Cardinals, drop them down to 4, move the Cardinals to 2, Cowboys to 3, and then Rams 5 was how I would go.
It's so hard. Like, to me, it's so hard not to have Tennessee at number 2. And the reason for it is because a lot of people thought without Derrick Henry, a lot of people were like, Tennessee is going to be done, or basically not done, but they're like, Tennessee's going to struggle. They're not going to be able to beat any good teams. And they've still been,
but they're winning.
But they've still been beating good teams without Derrick Henry. And so they're still a good team, and they're proving that they can still win without Derrick Henry. And so that's why, to me, it's been impressive. That's why
they lost the Cardinals and the Jets, and with the difference of about 30 points. I mean, so
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with the whole points wise, but I'm just thinking that they've still been impressive without Derrick Henry.
No, they have. I mean, no doubt about it.
And then when I look at the Cardinals, I get that, Kyler Murray's been out the last couple weeks, and they were able to win a game without him, but they also lost a game without him. And I mean, they got throttled against Carolina without him. Would it have made much of a difference? Potentially. I don't know. Would they have won that game? Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to know because of how much they actually lost by, and it just seemed like their defense couldn't stop Carolina. So to me, it's right there. It's right there. I definitely agree with these top 5 teams that are in it.
Yep.
But it's just the rankings is what's going to be so hard on how to put them. So Isaiah, when it comes to you, do you agree with this top 5 list?
I do agree with some of the teams, but I don't agree with all of it. The Packers, I think, are definitely number 1. Green Bay played outstanding this season offensively and defensively, and I think right now they're definitely the best team in football based on how, they got Aaron Rodgers. The running game is outstanding, and then, you got the wide receivers over there with Adams and Lazard, and then you have the defense as well, which has been a big surprise to me. I did not expect that defense was going to play how they've done this season. I think, Ace, if I remember correctly, I think on Wild Sports Talk, we made our NFL preseason or our predictions, right? And then I think I picked Minnesota or something. I picked someone. I don't remember. I don't think I picked Green Bay because I said the reason why Green Bay is not going to win this year, it's because of their defense. And their defense has really stepped up. Tennessee at 2, I think I got to agree with it because, like you said, ever since they lost Derrick Henry, everybody was like, oh, they're not going to win anymore. Their season is done because Derrick Henry's gone. He was their focal point of their offense. And with him being gone, their offense died. And they still continue to win games at a very high level with Ryan Tannehill, which is something that I've been very surprised by. So I definitely think the Titans are 2. Cardinals at 3. You got to put them up there because, I know they got thrashed by the Carolina Panthers, but they still have a dynamic offense with Kyler and Hopkins and those guys. And I'm worried about their defense, though, because J.J. Watt is gone. You still have Chandler Jones, but if the pass rush can't get home, that secondary is going to be exposed. The Cowboys at 4 I have no problems with. But the number 5 team, it's not the Rams. Come on, man. It is the Buffalo Bills. Did you guys see that the Rams got destroyed in San Francisco this Monday night? They were pushed around. They look soft against the 49ers. The 49ers just completely manhandled them and bullied them in that game. And when you look at the Buffalo Bills right now, yes, I know they lost to the Jaguars, but that was an off game. And they got Josh Allen. They got a great offense. The defense is getting much better. The Rams, I think I would put them below Buffalo. I would put Buffalo right now over the Rams just because I think the Rams have so many new pieces. They got to figure it all out. And they do have talent, but they got to figure all of that out. But after what happened on Monday night, they looked really soft in that game.
Well, I'm okay with you saying Buffalo. I just thought that you were going to completely go somewhere else, and I was going to say we're not even going that far. I thought you were going to go with the 49ers or a team like that, and I was going to say don't even talk with that blasphemy here because that would just be crazy.
The one thing I want to, I mean, I don't mind them saying Buffalo. But to give them the excuse that they had an off day against the Jags and that's why they lost, okay, well, then I want to give the Rams an off day. They had an off day against the Niners. They should have beat them. I mean, you lose to who you lose against, no matter have an off day or not. I mean, that's like saying we gave Aaron Rodgers an off day week 1 because, they lost to the Saints. I mean.
And plus, Isaiah, that's a divisional game. The Rams play the Niners. It's a divisional game. Yeah. They're going to be tough games.
Yeah. And the Niners typically always own the Rams anyways.
So there you go. It's like when Green Bay plays the Vikings, when Green Bay plays Chicago. It doesn't matter what the records are going to be. It really doesn't matter. They're divisional games. You never know what's going to happen in these games. And so that's why it's so hard to be like, well, the Buffalo Bills had an off game. They had an off game, but so did the Rams because it was a divisional game. The Buffalo game was not a divisional game.
Well, no, I get that, but I just don't think that with all the new pieces that they have, Odell, I mean, I don't even know why you signed him anyways because that guy has not been the same
smart on their part
after the injury. And then I mean, you get Von Miller, but I don't know. For me, the Rams, I just don't think it will work out because I think it's like the Lakers where you have all these guys that were stars in their prime, but now they're not what they once were.
I don't know. It's tough.
The problem is they believe the hype, and the hype's gotten into their head.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the problem against the Niners. They believed the hype. They thought, they'd just walk out there with all the talent they had and just beat the Niners easily. And that doesn't fly in the NFL. You can't do that. You can't underestimate your opponent.
No, you really can't. That's why it's called Any Given Sunday. And now it can be any given Thursday, any given Sunday, or any given Monday. You just never know what's going to happen now. But all right, so mess around, Dave. Do you agree with these power rankings?
I agree with the first couple. It's hard for me to say put Green Bay number 1 anywhere, but it's well deserved, and it's not even because of their offense right now. Their defense is playing lights out right now. I mean, I watched last week's game against Seattle, and I came away so impressed with that defense. Even the last 2 weeks, they held Kansas City 13. They shut out Seattle pretty much, so their defense is just amazing this year, and Rodgers never had a defense like that. So, and then I want to put the Bucs in there, but I can't do it because they're kind of broken lately. So I would agree with Isaiah and take the Rams out and put the Bills in.
But you would put the Bills at number 5. You wouldn't put them any higher up, right?
No, number 5, yeah.
Because you remember at the beginning of the year when people had like Buffalo like in the top 3 because they were kind of rolling and people had them pegged as the best team in the AFC, but right now they're not really showing it. The Buffalo Bills are definitely not showing that. So as far as the aspect part of the defense, like you guys are talking about with Green Bay, yeah, I was the biggest doubter at the beginning of the season with Joe Barry myself. Because I was like, really, Joe Barry? Why would you hire Joe Barry as a defensive coordinator? He did nothing in Detroit. He did nothing in Washington. But he's got this defense playing absolutely lights out. He's got them going out there balling week in and week out. If you would have told me that over the last three weeks between Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, and Russell Wilson, that he would have allowed one touchdown pass out of those 3 quarterbacks in 3 weeks, that's showing that your defense is playing lights out. Like, that's showing that they're playing really good. So I would right now have them at number 1. Tennessee probably would be number 2, only because of, like I said, with the whole Derrick Henry thing, still winning games. Arizona, I still think that they're going to – I still think they're there. I still think they're a good team. Once Kyler Murray gets back, I think that their offense is going to take off again. I think the Cardinals are going to be just fine, so I'm not too worried about them. The Cowboys, they're actually a good team. But the thing is how could they not be a good team? Look at their offense, man. They're loaded on the receiver side.
The defense is solid, though, too.
They are. They definitely are. And so the thing is when it comes to it, their defense, though, are they going to be a top 10 defense when the season ends? It's going to be interesting to see because they do play the Chiefs on Sunday. So that's going to be a huge test for Dallas. I can't wait to see that because I think that's going to be a very high-scoring game. I really think it is. If Dallas's defense comes out and plays, then they might show some people something. But I do have to stick with the Rams at number 5. I think they just had a bad game, and I think they're going to be okay, or 2 bad games in a row. But I think that they're going to be just fine. Buffalo's right there. You could put them over if you wanted to. Now, another team that people are actually talking about that you could potentially put in the top 5, and I don't know if you guys would agree with this or not, but they're even talking about the way that the New England Patriots are playing right now in 4 consecutive wins. And their defense is playing good. They're playing good offensively. So people are even talking about them possibly being up there. But I'm like, you can't put them in the top 5 yet. They're still 6-4. I still think that there's teams that are ahead of them. But this AFC East may not be a runaway with the Buffalo side like we thought it was.
I'm not buying the hype on the Patriots yet.
You're not buying it yet?
It's too soon.
And they play the
offense keeps scoring. Their defense is only holding their opponents to 17.5 points a game. So, their offense has to improve.
So Amy's here. She's saying, "Hi guys, Dave. Do you have your Dr. Pepper? Her usual question right there. Okay, and then
I think we get a sponsorship from Dr. Pepper here.
So Ishmael's asking you this. Isaiah, who's winning this Sunday? Jags or your Niners? Something's got to give. You said Jags will win 10 games, which means they got to go undefeated the rest of the way, and you said the Niners are back. So he's calling you out. And you know what? This is the truth, though. This is the truth, though, because you said they were going to win the South. And if they're going to win the South, the Jags have to win this game.
Which means they have to beat your boys.
Well, they're both his team. It's a lose-lose situation.
I'm going to go with the Niners. I got to take it back. The Jags are not winning 10 games. They're going to win 9. They're not going to win 10 games. Because, hey, when I said the Jags were going to win 10 games on Wild Sports Talk, and I said they were going to lose only 1 game the rest of the way, that loss, I was saying, was this Sunday against my Niners. I said, you can beat the Colts, you're going to beat the Titans, you're going to beat the Texans, you're going to beat all those teams. But that one loss will be this Sunday against my Niners, and that will be 10 wins right there. But the Jags wasted that loss, that free loss that they shouldn't have in order to win 10 games against the Colts. So now they basically have to win out to go to 10 games, which is impossible. So give me the Niners to win that game. I think the Niners honestly gonna win by 10.
So Isaiah, did you really look at the Jags schedule to look and say 10? Okay, let's say they beat the Colts. Okay, they beat the Colts. You got the Niners, you got the Falcons, you got the Rams. You got the Titans, the Texans they probably would beat, the Jets, the Patriots, and then they got the Colts again. There's no way they're going to win 10 games. You can give them 100. You can give them 100 games against these opponents, and they're not going to win 10 games.
It's not going to happen, Isaiah. This team's just not ready. They are not ready.
Your Niners aren't going anywhere either.
I'm going with the philosophy that any given Sunday, that's my
okay. Any given Sunday, but not every Sunday. Okay, I'm just saying there's a difference between any given Sunday and every Sunday.
No, they said they'll be lucky to win 3. I can see them winning 4, maybe 5 games. But
they're not winning 9.
No.
They're not winning 9 games. So, Isaiah, it's about time to come out and say, I was wrong. My AFC South prediction was wrong. And you can even say that your AFC East prediction was wrong. And your NFC East prediction was wrong.
Who did I pick for the AFC East?
You picked the Jets in the AFC East. And then you picked the Giants in the NFC East.
And you picked the Lions in the Central.
The Central? It's okay to say you were wrong. It's okay to say it.
Admit it. Come on, say the word. Say it.
I'm going to ride and die with the Jags until the Jags are officially mathematically eliminated. But in terms of the Jets, yes, I was wrong about the Jets. The Jets, Zach Wilson, I hyped him up like, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be the best quarterback to come out of BYU. I even said that if he was with my Niners, that he would be in this, like that he would have a career in the same category as Joe Montana and Steve Young. Go ask John Alcorn on MI6.
Oh my goodness.
But I was wrong on the Jets. I was wrong on Zach Wilson. He might actually end up being a bust. And
I wouldn't say Wilson's going to be a bust.
I'll give you guys that. I'll give you guys the Jets. The Giants, don't think Giants still have a chance in the division?
So before we came on here, mess around, Dave, and I think Big B, you heard this though too. Isaiah was talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Yes, I'm bringing this up. I'm calling you out. So Isaiah was talking about all these quarterbacks in the league, and he starts talking about he would take Jimmy Garoppolo. He said, let me look at this because I have the exact things here that he stated. He would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Dak Prescott.
Nope.
He would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Matthew Stafford.
Nope.
He would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Kirk Cousins.
I might take him over Cousins. That's the only one. But the other one, nope. Isaiah's smoking the shanky.
Well, this stemmed from our discussion that we had about the Niners going up against the wild card against the Panthers, the Saints, and the Vikings. And I said, out of those 3 teams, I'm taking Jimmy Garoppolo as the best quarterback out of all those 3 teams, because you can't tell me you're taking Trevor Siemian over Jimmy G or Cam Newton over Jimmy G.
No, I told you I agree with the Siemian one. Yeah, but the other ones, there's no way I'm taking Jimmy G over Matthew Stafford. There's no way I'm taking Jimmy G over Dak Prescott. It's not happening. It's just not gonna happen.
I got to see more out of Cam Newton being back with Carolina before I can say I'd take Jimmy G over him.
Yeah, because
I don't think Jimmy G's going to finish the season with the Niners. So
yeah, we just don't know how Cam Newton's going to play. Like we don't know.
Isaiah, you gave so much love to Zach Wilson, but now your man's Trey Lance. I mean, come on. You're hyping Wilson. I mean.
Yeah, what happened to Trey Lance? What happened to your romance with him?
Well, the romance is put on the shelf for a year. I'll get back to me next year. We'll see.
I said it before. I'll say it again. Bust.
But Zach Wilson, yeah, he very well might be.
I'm not saying. Trey Lance.
Oh, Trey Lance. Okay, I thought you were talking about.
I don't
Zach
think Wilson's going to be a bust. I don't know. I mean,
I don't think Wilson will, but I think Trey Lance will be.
All right, so
Wilson needs to get out of New York. That's what.
So Isaiah Callan wants to know: did the Vancouver Blues play today?
No, they didn't actually. They didn't play today. But,
and how is Randall Cunningham's coaching career going?
Yeah, and Randall Cunningham's coaching career is going fantastic too, right?
On that 2,000-yard football field they play on.
Right, so
no, I did. You didn't answer my question on your other show, so I answered here. Which field's bigger, the pro football field or the college football field?
I got no comment on that. I thought Ace was asking me about like inches and feet of the stadium.
What the heck would I ask you for? Really? All right.
Moving on.
So our next topic is actually an NBA topic. We're going to talk about Klay Thompson. So Klay Thompson now is playing in some 5-on-5 drills. He's close to returning, and as we already see, this Warriors team is 13. Like, they're really good already, and so with Klay Thompson on the comeback scene here, he's coming. So when Klay Thompson returns, now keep in mind with Klay Thompson, he's also been out for 2 years because of injuries, the torn ACLs. Do you feel like Klay Thompson's going to be making a big impact when he comes back? Or do you feel at this point in time, like, you know what, I don't think he's going to be the same Klay Thompson? If he is, I'll tell you what, this Warriors team has gotten a heck of a lot better. And they're already good enough as it is. And if you get Klay back at 100% healthy and playing awesome, this Warriors team is going to be even better. And so mess around. Hold on really quick. How's it going, Chardol? I hope you're having a good night. All right, so mess around. Now I'll go with you. If Klay Thompson comes back and he's completely healthy, which do you think he's going to be the old Klay Thompson, or do you think he probably lost a couple steps and he's not going to be it? And is the Warriors going to even be a better team?
Nobody is ever the same after coming back from an ACL, unless you're Adrian Peterson. So I think his game's going to slip a little bit, but not too much. I'm hoping he comes back same because I've been stashing him on my bench all year in our fantasy league.
Do you think, though, how much better do you think this Warriors team is going to be? They're already good enough.
He doesn't have to do much. Just keep shooting those threes like he's done before. The shooting's never going to leave. He's always been a shooter. So I think they're going to be a lot better with Klay back.
This team is already scary enough. Like, they are good enough already. And so, Big B, I'll go to you. What's your take on the Klay Thompson returning probably fairly soon?
Well, the thing is like you said, Ace, they're a scary team right now. So Klay Thompson's probably going to come off the bench for a while because you're not going to disrupt what's going on in Golden State right now with the way they're rolling. So for him to crack the lineup, he's definitely going to have to be 100%, and somebody's going to have to go down with an injury so he might come off the bench, be the 6th man, 7th man, 8th man. I don't know, but if I was him, that's what I would do. Let him come off the bench, get some minutes in, 10, 15 minutes to start off, and then kind of go from there. But you definitely want a healthy Klay Thompson, and if he comes back like he did when he left, man, you might as well just hand over the ring right now to Golden State because nobody's touching them. So
yeah, imagine a man like Klay Thompson coming off your bench as the 6th man. Like, that is crazy. All right, so Isaiah, since he's technically, I guess, a basketball guy, and let's not forget that he declared that this Lakers team was going to be a 70-plus win team before the season started, and right now the Lakers are quite a bit a ways behind this Warriors team. They have a long ways to go to catch them. So you tell me, how much dangerous is this Warriors team going to be when Klay Thompson comes back?
I don't think they'll be more dangerous than they already are because, like you guys said, Klay Thompson's coming off a torn ACL and a torn Achilles. So I don't think the Warriors should expect him to be back to the Klay Thompson of old. I think that's just foolish for them to expect that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because look at DeMarcus Cousins. He had a torn ACL, right, and then a torn Achilles, and he lost his legs. And I think that they should ease him back in rather than put him back into the starting lineup, since it will be good for his legs. Because you don't need Klay Thompson to be the Klay Thompson, now. You need him for the playoffs. So I think that would be a smart move. Just have him on the bench, come off the bench, because I think right now the Warriors playing outstanding basketball. And my guy, Jordan Poole, who I watched him at Michigan, he's actually becoming a bona fide superstar as we speak with the way he's balling out. So they actually have Curry balling out. They got Clay coming back. They got Jordan Poole balling out. They also, don't forget, Wiseman's going to be back by Thanksgiving. So this Warriors team, I think that they'll continue on the path that they are on right now. But I don't think that they should expect Clay to be back to the Klay Thompson post-injury.
Well, and then off the bench, you're going to have Thompson. Let's say you have Thompson and Iguodala coming off the bench.
Right. I think if you're the Warriors, if you're going to put Thompson back into the starting lineup, I actually would have put him back in small forward, because I think that would be good for his legs instead of having to run around and guard the opposing team's best guards and keep up with them. I think if you put him at small forward, he definitely has the height and the length to do it. So I think if you put him at small forward, put Jordan Poole as the shooting guard, Curry as your point guard, I think that would really mesh well for the Warriors.
The only thing I disagree with you on, Isaiah, on that is the one thing you said is that when Clay comes back, you said he won't make that much of a difference. The Warriors won't be that much better. I don't care if Clay's 100% when he comes back. You get Klay Thompson back, he's going to immediately make him better. I don't care if he's 100% or not. Like, it's going to be hard to sit here and say, nope, he's not going to make him any better. It's Klay fucking Thompson. It's Klay
Thompson. The Warriors are already 10-1, right? They're 10-1 right now. So
no, they're like 13-2.
13-2. There you go. They're 13-2. They're rolling. How much better could they really get? I mean, what do you want? Win 70 games or win like?
Well, apparently you had the Lakers winning 70 games, so the Warriors winning 70 games can't be that far-fetched.
Well, that's because I didn't know the Lakers training staff was completely putrid and didn't know how to wrap people's ankles.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
Blame on the injuries.
Well, no, I mean,
might as well hire me as a doctor. I could do a better job.
I mean, Klay Thompson at 80% is probably better than 80% of the players in the NBA right now. So, Warriors are going to have a, hard decisions to make, but I think they need to ease Klay Thompson back in if they're going to make him a starter again.
No, I think they will. It's just my point is trying to say that he's not going to make him better is something that you're like, come on, you can't say that he's not going to make him better, because he's going to make an impact on that team. He's part of the Splash Brothers, so he's definitely going to be a part.
Yeah.
All right, so now we can jump into our final topic, which is talking some NBA. So as we saw, free agency has already started. We've already seen MLB, some people. Some MLB. We've already seen the MLB free agency starting. We've already seen some people sign with teams. So when it comes to that, some of the big time free agents that are left, where do you guys see them going? So you have guys like Corey Seager, Scherzer, Justin Verlander just signed today. He went back to the Houston Astros, a 1-year, $25 million deal. That I don't think it really surprised a lot of people that he went back there, but I know a lot of teams were going for him.
The White Sox and Braves were in on it.
Yep. I saw that they were going for him, and then you still have Freddie Freeman out there. He's kind of lurking around, but I still think the only thing that the Braves and Freeman have not agreed on yet is that 6th year. But I think you'll still see Freeman back with the Braves. I don't think.
Where else?
Huh?
That's a lock. You can take his bank. He's going back.
Yeah, I really don't think he's going anywhere else. But Big B, I'll start with you on this one. Where do you see some MLB free agents signing?
Man, I really hope Freeman signs with anybody but the Yankees. I ain't gonna lie.
Or Dodgers.
If he does, I would probably take the Dodgers over the Yankees, but no, I really hope he signs back with the Braves. I mean, he's the face of the franchise. I mean, he brought them the World Series. Who else is out there? I know the Dodgers have some free agent questions.
Yeah,
Kershaw being one of them.
You
honestly, if I was Kershaw and his agent, or even Kershaw myself, I would be like, you know what? I think I'm going to pull a John Maddox here and go to the bullpen for a while and try to get healthy. Maybe be a closer, somewhere or something. I don't think Kershaw's going to be a starter, so I don't think he's going to demand that much money. That's what I would do if I was Kershaw. Correa, it sounds like Detroit really wants him, so I could see him ending up there in Detroit. Baez, I see possibly going back to Chicago. I know he did not want to leave there. Chris Bryant, and Chris Bryant, I see possibly could fit in with like a team like the Mets. He could play outfield and third, give him a little flexibility there. Rizzo, I think is probably going to stay with New York. I think that's where he was at, right?
Yeah.
He got traded to?
Who's that?
Rizzo
Yeah.
went to New York?
Yeah, he went to New York.
I think he'll stay with the Yankees. Especially if they don't get Freeman, then you might as well sign Rizzo. So.
Yeah, so because you have Trevor Story out there, you have Corey Seager, you have Max Scherzer.
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I hope Minnesota makes a run at Story, but I know they won't.
Well, they could.
They could, but they're not going to.
You don't think they will?
I'll tell you right now. If they go after Story, I'm buying me a Story t-shirt or a jersey.
He goes, all right, mess around. I'll go to you. Where do you see some big time name free agent signing?
I think most of them you're going to see like the big name guys resign with their own. Like I don't think Seager's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay with the Dodgers. Freeman's going to stay with the Braves. Chris Bryant, I think, is actually going to sign with Atlanta because they tried to get him the past couple years.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I'm hoping my White Sox sign Scherzer because we can use another starter. So I'm hoping he goes there. Correa, I think Big B's right on that one. I read about him that the Tigers wanting him really bad. So I can see Correa signing there with Detroit. Gets an old coach. AJ Hinch there. So the connection's there for that one.
Yeah, if Chris Bryant went to Atlanta, the problem is that he could.
You have no problem.
Well, no. I'm saying the problem is that you could not stick him at third base because Austin Riley's there. So,
well, no, you put him at DH.
So you would have to, or potentially use him in the outfield.
No.
Or if you wanted to do a DH, you could put Chris Bryant at third and put Austin Riley as DH.
Yeah. No, I think you put Austin Riley at third, put Chris Bryant at DH. Because I think the Braves are going to make a big splash with their outfield. I think Rosario's coming back, Acuna's coming back, and you can Duvall or whoever in right field. But Braves will be scary if they get Bryant.
And we're looking at more people for our rotation still. So
yeah.
And that's definitely something we need. And no, Isaiah, nobody's going to Oakland and nobody's going to Philadelphia. I'm just saying that. Nobody's going there.
Good point here. What about San Diego?
Chris Bryant signed with the Phillies because he's really good friends with Bryce Harper.
Yeah. But Chris Bryant to San Diego, Colin says. What do you think of that?
Chris Bryant, San Diego. That could be an interesting one too.
That would be. But yeah, nobody's going to Oakland.
No.
The Oakland players don't want to even be in Oakland.
No, Oakland's going to sell. Like I know they're talking about trading some of their top people already.
Yeah, I saw who was it came out and said that the Yankees were in talks with Chapman.
No, that was Olsen actually, not Chapman. They
was
want
it Olsen?
First baseman, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Chapman, but you could be right, Isaiah.
Well, we already saw, Thor, which is Syndergaard. We saw him sign with the Angels, so that was kind of the first big signing, so to say.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see too many though. With the like Colin said, with the CBA issues, I don't see too many signing right off the bat here.
Probably not for quite some time, but right now, Verlander and Syndergaard are like the two big ones. And actually, you had Rodriguez sign with the Tigers on a 5-year deal too. So that was also
Syndergaard to the Angels kind of surprised me. I didn't think he'd go there.
Well, but the Angels, they talked about getting some starting pitching because they said that was one thing they were lacking was starting pitching. And so I figured they were going to take a shot at Syndergaard. I figured they were going to try and go after Kershaw. They were going to probably try and go after Scherzer. Like they were going to probably do whatever they could to get a good starting rotation.
Yeah.
And
it's definitely one thing the Angels.
Yes, what? Isaiah. Yes.
All right. Freddie Freeman, I think he stays with the Braves because it would be a total crime if he left the Braves. Like you guys have said, face of the franchise. He's been with the Braves through thick and thin. It would literally be like Drew Doherty leaving the LA Kings. Like it would be a crime if he left the Atlanta Braves. So I think he stays with the Atlanta Braves. Other free agents. Honestly, I think Scherzer. I don't know actually for Scherzer. I think he goes back to the Dodgers just because I guess he prefers the West Coast. Plus, they're going to give him a lot of money. Plus, they're built to win a championship right now. So it's all that he can ask for, really. And then Chris Bryant, I think he signs with the Phillies. Like Mess Around Dave said, he's best friends with Bryce Harper. I think there was a picture floating around on Twitter about how him and Bryce Harper were putting their arms around each other and they were doing BFF stuff. So I really think that Bryce Harper's been clamoring for Bryant. The Phillies have an outfield need. I guess they're also pursuing Starling Marte as well. But I think if you're the Phillies, I would go get Bryant since he's younger. And I just think that I don't know how Marte's legs will be as he ages. That's the thing. That's what really worries me about Marte. Correa, I think, goes to the Tigers because there's just too much smoke around that. AJ Hinch is their manager. Tigers have a shortstop need. They really want him. So I think he goes to Detroit. And then I would say, last but not least, this is probably going to be my boldest prediction of this show, and that is I think Seager goes to Oakland on a 1-year $35-40 million deal because with the new CBA, right, there's a lot of reports out there that they're proposing a salary floor. And if the A's trade all their players, they will be down like $30 million in payroll salary, and they still need, like, let's say they do $80 million or $100, then you're still going to need to spend $40-50 million. I think what they're going to do, a lot of these small markets teams are going to do is just do 1-year big money deals to these free agents just to sell tickets and also just to get to that salary floor. Plus the A's have a shortstop need as well. So I could see like a 1-year $40 million deal where they just flip him at the trade deadline for prospects.
Got mute.
Not happening.
Yeah, that was kind of definitely bold there. So it's like Callan saying Olsen to San Diego for Hosmer, and then nobody's going to Oakland, Las Vegas. Isaiah, keep dreaming. It's just
and that's the problem Oakland has right now is, are they going to move to Vegas? If that's up in the air. Who's going to want to move there, set up their family and stuff for a year, but sign a 5-year deal and then have to uproot them again? So
I don't think anybody wants to go there anyway.
Well, it's not that they want to go there anyways, but I mean.
But you guys don't think these like small market teams that need to reach that, if there is a salary floor, like let's say it's 80 or 90 million and they're only having like, let's say the Rays, right? They only have 50 million in payroll. They still got to spend 40 million just to reach that the payroll floor. They're going to spend like 1 year, I don't know, 45 million on a guy just to reach that. And then they can either flip him at the deadline if they're not good, or they could just keep him for a year and see what happens. I think you're going to see a lot of deals this year just from teams that are not that good, like the Pirates. I could see some like the Pirates signing a guy for like 1 year and $50 million just to reach that payroll floor and just to flip it out the deadline.
A lot of guys are not going to want to go sign 1 year deals. A lot of guys are going to be like, no, I'm not signing a 1 year deal.
But Isaiah, what team's going to take on that $50 million salary cap for a rental player if he's only 1 year? Well, that's what you got to think about.
That is true,
because there's no way anybody's going to take on that contract. There's no freaking way, man. Especially on a 1 year. If the Pirates or Oakland tried to sign somebody for 1 year for $45 million, and they call a team and go
a lot of that cap
and go, hey, we're gonna trade them. They're gonna look at Oakland and be like, well, you're gonna be paying $30 million because I'm not paying $45 million for half a season. It's just not happening. They're just not doing it. And so that's why you may say it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen because a lot of teams are not going to want to take on that cap space for a rental.
Nope.
But now we're to the end of the show. So Big B, I'll start out with you. Any final thoughts you have?
Thanks for everybody chiming in. Keep sharing, liking our shows here on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. For some of our viewers, we are making minor changes, moving a couple shows around, but we still have some great content. But keep checking us out and keep helping us build what we want to do for a dream, I guess.
Yep. Redid our logo. Definitely have some shows that are moving around, trying some new times out. We even might have, who knows, we might even have a few new shoes, not new shoes, new shows starting, but
we got new shoes, sweet.
But
new shoes, hook me up, brother.
All right, so
those new shoes, let's do it.
All right, Isaiah, you're up next. Any final thoughts for you?
Oh God.
Yeah, my final thoughts was Ace. I'm disappointed, man. There's no Aces mini games tonight. I was so looking forward to defending. I was so looking forward to defending it, but gotta thank all the viewers for tuning in. Thank you to everybody for tuning in, and tune in and kicking it with Isaiah and Ace tomorrow because we're going Thanksgiving heavy on the topics tomorrow. Since Thanksgiving is gonna be happening a week from tomorrow, so and no, Callan, you will not be on kicking it because I snuck some hockey with the whole Freddie Freeman, Drew Doherty thing. Though I don't even think I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Why even try? All right, so mess around. How about you?
It's always a pleasure to be on Sportsminute with you guys. Anytime I can get on here, we always have a good time. So thank you for that. Thanks to the viewers for watching and Chris behind the scenes.
All right. And then, of course, we definitely want to thank all of our viewers for watching. Keep in mind all those little changes that are coming. Check out our brand new logo. We like it. We all hope you guys like it. There's going to be some merch dropping. We're currently working on the details for that. And so with that, I really hope everybody has a fantastic night. And you can catch us tomorrow on another episode of Kicking It with Isaiah and Ace, but don't also forget that tomorrow there's also an episode of GMs for Hire. So with that, everybody have a great night, and we will see you guys next time.